Hello and welcome, my friends, to the Minnesota Gardening Podcast. It is my honor to have you here with us today. My name is Brad Tabke, and I'm the host of the podcast. And I'm going to continue a little with my rant from Tuesday. So if you listened to Tuesday's episode, I talked all about invasive plants in our landscape. In this Friday episode, we always try and have an action step for this weekend that you can take. And so this is primarily for Minnesota Gardening Club members. They get a full article and information as to what plants are and different things like that are adding to this episode that we have every Friday. And so you can go to minnesotagardeningclub.com. If you're not a member right now, you can join for just $10 a month and support the podcast, support what we're doing here, and help to get more native plants all across Minnesota and the upper Midwest. So, but back to the invasive plants. So we have a lot of plants that I've gotten a ton of feedback since Tuesday about that episode, and some folks were less than pleased. But I think everybody understands is that we have a problem with invasive plants in our landscapes, and it is up to us as individuals to do that. So we need to remove those invasive plants from our landscape. And so we have a course for new homeowners, and the first thing that we teach that has to happen there is that new homeowners need to remove invasive plants right away. So that's the very first step that we tell people to do. Remove your burning bush, remove buckthorn, remove barberry, those kinds of things. Remove those plants from your landscape so you don't get attached to them, so that you learn that they're invasive and they need to go away and you need to take care of that. So that's the first thing that we tell new homeowners to do. But this weekend, I want everyone to get out and remove. So there are a couple different ways to do it. We'll talk about buckthorn specifically. To remove your buckthorn. So there are nifty little tools that you can get to dig into the ground and to lift the roots out. Buckthorns, it's a pain to remove. It's not very easy, and you have to stay at it because every time you remove buckthorn, there's a ton of seeds in the soil and those start to sprout up. So it's easiest to get them when they're small, to pull them out right away in the spring. And they usually stop sprouting around July or so, and you can hold off from there. But there's a really cool, I'll put an article, a link to it in the show notes, but there's a really cool way that's been taking place in parks in Minneapolis that they've been researching and doing work on, where if you have overgrown buckthorn on your property, to cut it off at about chest height, and then remove all the stems and let those stems, so do this over the winter, remove all the stems and leave the trunk of the buckthorn there at about 4 feet high or so, 3-4 feet high, and then remove all the branches and stems that come off of it and let it grow back. So then in early June, mid-June, when it has all put that effort into putting more leaves out, you go through and you strip those away, and you just keep doing that every couple of months, and then eventually that buckthorn plant will remove and eliminate all of the root system, because it has to have a balance between tops and bottoms, between the root system and the number of shoots up there, because it doesn't have, when you remove the shoots, it eliminates the ability to support all those roots underground. And so then after a few years, it gets to a place where you can just pull that over and tip that plant over and be done with the buckthorn. So just make sure this weekend to identify the plants that you've got in your landscape and to remove the ones that are invasive. And with that, have a great weekend.